With extensive experience in the hygiene industry, working for large corporations such as Unilever and Kimberly Clark, currently chairman of European Tissue Symposium, Fanis Papakostas will now give us his views on the coronavirus impact on consumer hygiene trends. Fanis, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your interest.
Thank you. Do you believe that the corona pandemic has affected the consumer's perception of hygiene and really changed their behavior?
Oh, absolutely. This must have been the most significant change of consumer behavior, excuse me, regarding hygiene and tissue paper in the last century, probably. People wash their hands and surfaces much more frequently than before. Therefore, there's a need of hygienic drying. We often sanitize surfaces in our hands as well. Then there's a need for hygienic drying as well. The awareness of the importance of personal hygiene is definitely up.
So in what areas do we see the biggest changes? Is that the away from home segment or the consumer?
At the end, the result will be the same. Temporarily, there will be a long-term positive effect in both consumer and away from home at the end. But at the beginning, when the pandemic crisis started, we saw an instant heavy demand of for consumer tissue products, those what people are using at home. And this was something like a natural reaction. Of course, the key reason was that people were spending almost all their time at home, but also the fact that they naturally responded by using more and more tissue paper, considering it essential to maintain their personal hygiene. You remember the empty shelves in the US and in Europe, etc. They were alarmed, and some of them they even overreacted, reaching hysterical levels and cautiousness. After a few weeks, there was some adjustment, and the supplies were normalized, and there were maybe some more adjustment coming up. However, I want to believe that the stabilization level will be higher than before the pandemic, because the perception about hygiene has changed. By the time passing, governments started lifting the restrictions and people started going out. That is adjusting the away from home slowly but steadily, the away from home volumes, and the sales are increasing again. In any case, people need to maintain higher hygiene than before. This will eventually boost the demand for tissue paper. Therefore, also in the away-from-home area, this demand is going to exceed the levels that we were used to see before the pandemic. To me, one thing is certain. Many of the new habits regarding the hygienic precautions, although they may lose some of their initial impact, they are here to stay. And this is overall good for the business.
So do you see a battle now between the tissue industry and other drying businesses?
Yes, clearly. All the alternative categories to tissue will be affected by the consumer's clear preference to use tissue. And some of them may lose their businesses. I'm talking about wipes, alternative things, air dryers, etc. They may try to shift the battle of arguments to other areas where they believe, or they're trying to convince people that they may have an advantage. For example, the sustainability, as they like to do very often. However, sooner or later, the general public will know that the tissue paper industry in Europe is supplied with pulp. Pulp is the key raw material coming from the renewable forestry. And more than that, apart from offering the best hygienic solutions, it has a full sustainability agenda with the continuous improvement of every element of the supply chain.
Right. So what is your overall conclusion on this?
As a conclusion, I would say the news are good. In fact, they're very good. The tissue industry is essential to global health and pretty sustainable. We're proud of it. Consumers are getting better informed and they behave accordingly using more tissue paper. It is good for them and good for the business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fanis, and thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you.